This is Tom from Classic
I
Plastik.
feel
Enjoy
like
the show.
this year may be special. Don't you, Alexia? It's almost like there's something I'm forgetting.
My dear Alfred, please be easy on yourself. Why don't you set down your burdens and play a game with me?
You're right, Alexia. Since you've come back, I've never been this happy.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where you're at Occupy Philly. This is Tom from Classic Plastik. Enjoy the show. Alright, let's take a look what this box brings. Let's see what kind of goodies we have to slay hordes of the undead and bring Umbrella to its knees. So I'll put that there for right now. It brings the disc. I've played with it already, but I'll do a separate review for the video game. We're gonna first start off with the remote skins. This bundle brings two of them, and the first one is Leon and Claire. The second one is actually, if I can pry this off, second one is Wesker, Chris, and Jill, and there's covers for the buttons and the D-pads. Very cool item to have. I don't know if you can see it or I can even pull it out, but there is an Umbrella logoed gel thumb pad for the nunchuck, which is a really cool little bonus that they put in this bundle. And I haven't played with it yet. It just looks cool. I probably won't play with it. And so let's move on to the bigger hardware. The polyurethane issued Stars knife is actually a enclosure for the Wii nunchuck. And you just slip it in there and it fits nice and comfortably. And you are now ready to stab, actually that's stabbing, and slash your way through hordes of the hungry undead. It's a really cool piece of hardware. I think it's more of a focal piece than it would be an actual piece of hardware you'd play with. One of the downsides to this is the fact that it is made of polyurethane, so it's very bendy. It's not really my style. I would have preferred hard plastic, but due to younger children and people who have impairments with their hand and eye coordination, this could poke out an eye. So I guess it was a good choice to go with the polyurethane material. Now as far as gameplay, it does give a little bit of weight to your knife, and it gives you that visual stimuli that really does make the difference as far as gameplay. It really submerges you into the whole Raccoon City incident. Last piece of hardware on this bundle is the Resident Evil Magnum, modeled after Barry's Python Magnum, which was featured in Resident Evil 1. This Magnum is completely oversized. I like to think I have nice full hands, but this thing really dwarfs anyone's hands. And it's not a bad thing. The Python in the video game is oversized, massive, strong, and this Zapper really gives off that vibe. I mean, if I can't get that zombie off me, I'm clubbing him across the head with this thing. It's just completely awesome. It's built with very high quality plastic materials. All the components are plastic, so that means that it's very lightweight. You should have no problem with extended play as far as the weight on this gun goes. Now, as far as the triggers go, that's a whole nother different story. This thing's modeled after a Python, and the triggers work like if they were on a revolver Python. And what I mean by that is the fact that to pull the trigger, you really gotta lean into it, and it's really not as responsive as it is on other zappers. Now, I don't know if that's kind of like a feature that they included into the zapper to make it more realistic, but personally I don't like it just because it really tires out your forearm after extended play, especially with vigorous shooting and repeated trigger pulling. It does have a second trigger, and I'll go over that in a little bit, but the second trigger also suffers the same defect, if you can call it that. It's very stiff. You really got to lean into it, and because it's placed right under the trigger, you really got to force your finger down on it, and sometimes it doesn't feel very comfortable just because I don't know, I'm not used to having a double trigger. But this double trigger is actually for the A function. On other zappers, it just has like this little semi half bracket that is supposed to slide down and perform the A function. Well, this actually goes over the A button and has a little hole cut out specially for it. So when you do need the A function to get that power up or extra herb, it performs it without you having to start fumbling up here trying to touch the appropriate button. And especially with a video game like Resident Evil, your spare hand isn't really spare anymore, just because you're holding the Resident Evil Stars knife and you're hacking and slashing your way through zombies and dogs. So that's a really cool addition on this, or feature on this Magnum. It's really worth mentioning because I haven't had any issues with the A function. As long as you push down on that stiff trigger, it's going to perform that action. Another really cool feature this thing has is the fact that there's this little storage area in the back where the plug for your nunchuck goes, and any slack of the cable you could hide in there. So it's an ample storage in the back of the gun, and it's very comfortable. I mean, besides the stiff triggers, there really aren't too many complaints on this gun, and I've played with it, I mean, for over at least 6 hours, and that's playing the Dark Chronicles because I just couldn't get enough of it. But let's put all this down and let's really get to the nitty-gritty part and see what Resident Evil Dark Side Chronicles